Good evening, all. My name is Nikki Zimmerman. I am your uh, faithful president, and welcome to August's general membership meeting. I would like to call this meeting to order. Our mission. The Fairfax County NAACP is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization whose mission is to achieve equity, political rights, and social inclusion by advancing policies and practices that expand human and civil rights, eliminate discrimination, and accelerate the well-being, educational, and economic security of Black people and all people of color. Okay, Eliza or John or Pam?
I can offer a meditation or a prayer.
Thank you.
Because of the program tonight, I thought that I should look for something about encouraging people, especially young people, to develop in ways that are fruitful for them. And I was looking online in different places, and because I'm Catholic, my search brought me to a Jesuit website. But the Jesuits offered a prayer from the Buddhist tradition. And I thought that was worth including tonight because as I understand it, I'm not a Buddhist, but as I understand it, Buddhists care deeply about peace of mind and happiness. And so a lot of what they hope for, meditate about, pray for is related to the development of our character so that we feel happy with how we are as people, which I think is related to the program tonight. So this is the Buddha's words on kindness, or part of what people believe the Buddha said about kindness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. Wishing in gladness and in safety, may all things be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all things be at ease. That's it.
Thank you, John. Next slide, please. Okay, President's report. So we have a lot to cover this evening. We are going to start with, oh my goodness. We have branch elections coming up. And as you all know, branch elections, you all get together and you vote on, electronically, you vote on who the next president will be, next secretary, assistant secretary, treasurer, assistant treasurer, at-large members, first through third VPs, and any officers of the branch. There is a process in doing that. And the process includes a nomination committee. But before we get to the nomination committee, what we have to do is do a vote on proposed dates and times. And since we're in August, they have everything broken down. And how they have it broken down is August, you do one thing, September, you do one thing, October, you do one thing, and then we have the elections in November. And so right now we're focused on two things, voting on the date of the election and the time of the election. Once we vote on the date and time of the election, our dutiful Secretary Mike O'Brien, I believe, will send up that to national, to let them know what we've agreed on. And then in September, we will have the nominations committee assembled and voted on by the general membership meeting. So just to quickly talk to you about the nominations committee. The nominations committee can be comprised of between 5 to 15 members of the branch, with 2 members being members of the executive committee. So I have already reached out to the 2 executive committee members that I would like to, have sit on the nominations committee, and they will get the emails from the prospective members of the nominations committee. And the general membership meeting in September, we will vote on the names of the individuals who volunteered to sit on the nominations committee. These are ad hoc committees, so they only run from September to November, but they are very, very important to the running of our elections. And one small hiccup will cause the election to have to stall. So these are very important and detailed committees. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and knock out the vote. Miss Lenore, can you, I'm not voting. So Miss Lenore, can you please, okay, Mike? Mike?
Yes. I just want to make the point, President Zimmerman, that the election, we're going to vote on the time and place, but the election is held electronically. So
Yes.
it's not like we have to be anywhere at a certain time. It's just that you have to do your voting during a certain time. And our national association handles all the back end administrative electronic stuff. So whenever time and day that we decide upon, they will set it up so that you get your ballot at the beginning of that 4-hour window, and then you'll have to vote within that 4-hour window. So
Okay,
make that clear.
thank you. Miss Lenore?
The
Can you
first
say-
poll that you want me to launch is the date. Is that correct?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I will launch the date poll now.
Okay.
I'm looking at what days of the week these are, so I've got to take I'm slow. So thanks for this.
We'll give you time. So right there,
President, I'm sorry.
You want me to go ahead and stop it?
The
Hey,
9th and the 6th, not yet. The 9th and the 16th are on Saturdays, and the 11th is on a Monday. But do we have, it looks like we got we must have
26
everybody.
people have voted, and the poll has been open for 1 minute and 36 seconds.
And we have 37 on the line. But not everybody's a member, so.
Right.
The majority vote is November 11th with 40, well, no, it just changed. So when we end the poll, we'll know for sure, so I'll just be quiet. Right now, there's a tie between November 11th and November 16th.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? How incredible is that? I guess is a better word.
Well,
for
we
it.
might want to go, we might want to go to the time of day. Because because we've got three options for that, and that might.
Okay, 20. Would you like to end the poll, President Zimmerman?
No, because we need a tiebreaker, and can someone be a tiebreaker?
That could be you or Mike.
Mike, can you go ahead and be a tiebreaker? I don't
I
even
mean,
have an
Mike should
option to
be
do
it
the poll.
probably. Yeah,
It's
I
not
know.
it's not letting me vote, but
Oh, somebody
I
did
can
it.
remove.
Oh,
Just a second.
could we remove November 9th and then revote?
Why would you move? People voted for November 9th.
But if
Yeah,
it
but
came down to a tie
it's got
between
to-
11th or
No,
16th.
it's not a tie anymore.
Oh, it's not. Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay, so now we're
16th.
ending it. Is that correct?
And I would have also voted for the 16th, so I think
Okay.
we broke the tie.
All right, we can end the poll, and November 16th has it. Now we will move on to the next poll, which is the time of the elections.
President Zimmerman, 27 people have voted. That's the amount that voted before.
That's my, okay, you can end the poll, and it looks like 11-3. You want to remove the poll?
Good job, Lenore.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Lenore. So as it stands, am I the one that's chair? Okay. So as it stands, the elections will be November 16th from 11-3. And your ballots will be emailed. There will be electronic voting. Okay. For those who are interested in participating, or for those of you who are interested in joining the nominations committee, I'm going to give you the email so that you may be considered. The email is nominations@fairfaxnaacp.org. Again, that is nominations@fairfaxnaacp.org. And the nominations committee will be voted on at September's meeting. We will vote on the names given, and we will have a slate that is voted on. Okay. State convention. We have the state convention coming up October 11th to the 13th. And as an ex-com, we discussed sending 3 people and financing 3 people to go. It costs roughly about $1,000. It's going to be in Williamsburg this year. And the intent is to send 1 officer, 1 committee chair, and a general member. So if you are interested in going to the state convention, which is in Williamsburg, please email me at president@fairfaxnaacp. I do ask that if you are interested in participating and going, that you are a member in good standing and you have been active within the branch, because you will be there representing the branch. So active in the branch, you've been here a while. A while is more than is relative, but I would say a year or better, and you are active in the branch. So again, if you are interested, please email me at president@fairfaxnaacp.org. Again, that is president@fairfaxnaacp.org. If you all see our monthly newsletter, you will see towards the bottom we have a member spotlight. So we like to recognize all of the members of the branch as we can. This month was Mike Waltz, who is our legal redress chair, and next month will be Miss Lenore Simmons. So please give Mike a round of applause for being our member spotlight, and another round of applause for Miss Lenore, who will be the spotlight for next month. While we are in for a treat this evening with the Education Committee facilitating tonight's meeting, next month, Criminal Justice will be leading the meeting. We'll be leading our general membership meeting. So please make sure that you register for that meeting. See, I think that's it. We are hiring. We are looking for people to join the ranks of secretary section. We are looking for people, again, members in good standing. That's the first thing. Second thing is a member who has kind of been with us for a while and know how things go, know how we operate, know how involved we are in the community. And the most important thing is someone who has time to dedicate to the job. The job of secretary, even assistant secretary. Yes, you are a non-paid volunteer full-time worker. But the secretary is the backbone of any NAACP branch, any organization. And it's a huge responsibility. It is very detail oriented. The secretary outside of the president really is the eyes and ears of the branch and helps in its functioning. Some of the duties include, but not limited to, ensuring that our AFR is paid, ensuring that we are in good standing, monitoring our membership system, doing the minutes for all of our meetings, which is a big part of that. And there are a host of other responsibilities, but as I said, the secretary's position is a very detail-oriented position, and you have to have the time to dedicate to that. So if you all, or if anyone you know that is in good standing with the branch, is somewhat active in the branch, has the time to dedicate to being a secretary, please email me at president@fairfaxnaacp.org. Again, president@fairfaxnaacp.org. We have a few honored guests. I saw school board member Mateo Dunn, I believe. I can't see anybody's picture anymore. So, Mateo, are you here? Is Mateo? I believe Mateo was here. Okay, I'll move forward. And we have the president of the Gum Springs Community Center Advisory Board, Ms. Graves, who is here, and we're going to give her the floor for about 5 minutes and let us know all the great things that Gum Springs is doing.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I just wanted you all to know, and I'd like to extend this invitation to everyone online. The Gum Springs Community Center season prom will be Saturday, September the 7th, and the tickets are free. And the theme this year is Harlem Nights. We're gonna have a live band, DJ, the 360, I guess they call it a booth. So last year it was a lot of fun. This year I anticipate that it will be even more fun. We're gonna have a king and queen for the prom. And the only thing I'm getting from the senior beautiful ladies is that they're requesting more menfolk. And I know when I first came on earlier, I saw a lot of menfolk. So you all might want to consider coming to the Gum Springs Community Center season prom, Saturday, September the 7th. And the hours are from 6 to 9 p.m. And the theme this year is Harlem Nights. So we're looking forward to that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. My 86-year-old mother normally is like one of the last ones to leave the dance floor. Also, we're excited to be supporting the Fairfax County NAACP board, your first Boys to Me Support Symposium, which will be Saturday, September the 28th at Gum Springs. We're very excited about that. And we're looking forward to a lot of the boys in our area being involved in that as well. Then on October the 19th, Saturday, October the 19th, your own President Nikki is supporting our and as a committee member for our first community Gum Springs Community Male Health and Wellness Clinic. That's actually scheduled for Saturday, October the 19th from 11 to 4. And we're going to be focusing and promoting male health and wellness issues in the community. And our theme for that is, I am my brother's keepers. And so things that we're offering, awareness on prostate cancer, colon cancer, many of the cancers that are not only avoidable, but more importantly, treatable if caught early. Heart conditions, diabetes, mental health, drug health. We're going to offer self-care. We're actually offering pedicures, manicures, massages, a chiropractor, and yoga. Yeah, a gentleman is coming to show men how to do yoga. So we're looking forward to that. We're offering a panel discussion with doctors and other county health department members. And also what I'm looking forward to is a barbershop talk among the men. And at this point, we're scheduling about 5 barbers that will come in and cut hair while the men are talking about male health issues. As well as Ms. Zimmerman have volunteered a voters registration table. We're looking forward to that. And vendors, we were hoping to get a lot of health vendors, as well as I'm also president of the AMVEX Ladies Auxiliary, Post 8, and we're gonna have a table for disabled veterans. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's gonna be Saturday, October the 19th from 11 to 4 o'clock p.m. Of course, we're looking forward to supporting you all November the 7th for the NAACP Freedom Fund Gala event. And I'm gonna encourage board members to support the gala either with a partnership or with purchasing tickets for members to attend the gala as well. Then on December the 21st, we're looking forward to partnering with you all, Fairfax County, Fairfax NAACP, for our annual winter holiday celebration for students K to 12. And that's gonna be Saturday, December the 21st from 11 to 4 o'clock p.m. And we're gonna actually, at this event, we're gonna allow the children to pick their toys. You know, as we're gonna do Santa workshop where the children will be able to pick the toys that they want. We're going to give gift cards to the teens, and we're going to raffle off bicycles. That's always exciting. And of course, Santa's going to be there, will be present, and we're going to have arts and crafts and karaoke. We're going to be singing carols as well. Those are the upcoming events that we have through December. And thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely, and we look forward to partnering with you on the men's health clinic. I've already spoken. We had during one of our XCOM meetings, we talked about the men's health clinic that we're partnering with you all on, and we are absolutely excited to have a table there. Also, and thank you for your pledge to the branch for our Freedom Fund Gala. For those of you who don't know, we are having our Freedom Fund Gala November 2nd at Tyson's Marriott. Miss Evelyn, can you drop the sponsorship? Can you please drop the sponsorship into the chat? So if you all are interested in becoming a sponsor for the event, the sponsorship package, we've sent the sponsorship package to a number of people. We've gotten some great sponsors in, but we can always use a few more. So the sponsorship packet is in the chat. I cannot see the chat because I have the screen, but Miss Evelyn, can you please drop the
Yes, I will,
sponsorship
President.
packet?
I will. Yes,
So that
ma'am.
everyone can see it. And we would like to take a second just to acknowledge, I cannot see anybody on here. I hate when this happens. Let me remove the spotlight. We do have everyone in it is a distinguished guest and an honored guest, and thank you all for coming. But we do have, I believe, I know I saw Mateo on here, and maybe he came and left, but we have Delegate Karen Keys-Gamora. Thank you for joining us.
Yes,
We would
it's
like
a
to
pleasure to
acknowledge
be
you.
here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the gala. Just a couple of things I'd like to mention. First of all, we are in the legislative pre-filing stage. And so if anyone has ideas about possible legislation, please drop me a note at my email, karen@karenkeysgamara.com. I've already heard some great ideas, but I know that our best ideas come from the community. And just secondly, I will be working on early voting, getting everybody out early for September 20th. So if you'd like to join those efforts, please let me know. And it's great to see everybody. Thanks so much for all the hard work you've been doing.
Thank you. Real quick, Miss Lenore, can you go back to the previous slides? I know I've been jumping. Is there a slide before this one? Okay, go back. Okay, go back one more. Okay. Holidays. Miss Graves reminded me. Again, we are partnering with Gum Springs Advisory Board. So one thing that was discussed in one of the meetings is they have a need for volunteers in December to help sort out toys and I guess assemble bikes and things of that such. So we're going to invite Ms. Graves back when they start circulating the volunteer sheet so that she can let us know how we can volunteer to, work a shift prior to the event. Also, let me see. Gift cards. So what we're going to do as a branch, what we've talked about doing as a branch is to cover the cost of some of the gift cards for the teens. Ms. Graves let us know that the teens are the ones who kind of get overlooked in favor of the smaller kids. So what we're going to ask you all to do is if you so desire, you can donate gift cards on behalf of the NAACP. You can send them to our our PO box. Mike, can you put the PO box address somewhere,
Sure, I'll put it in the chat.
please? Yes, please. And we'll start collecting gift cards probably sometime in September, October, for the kids. I believe that's all that I have. Ms. Grace, thank you for briefing us on everything that's going on, that you all are doing, and the stuff that we are partnering with you on. Next slide. And we will move on to the secretary's report.
All right, folks, great to see everybody here tonight. We've got a good crowd, 41 people online here. I wanted just two quick things. One, we always try to approve the minutes from the previous meeting, and we did get those out. One of the updates, reminders about this meeting. So President Zimmerman, if you could ask for a motion to approve those minutes, that would be wonderful.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes. I can't see anybody at this screen, so I absolutely can't see. Can someone, I don't know,
second the
raise?
motion. I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 All
Aye.
opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
That's great. Thank you all. And now the only other thing I have is the fact that I serve as the branch's representative on something called the One Fairfax Roundtable, a new group formed by the county government to help kind of oversee the equity and inclusion initiatives of the county, and to ensure that the One Fairfax policy is implemented across all of Fairfax County government. The first policy that we're actually taking up is called the Foot Pursuit Policy. It was one that we pushed to have reviewed and considered by the police after the shooting death of Timothy Johnson last year. So it's a big win for us that this is the first policy that they're going to look at and implement. So I'll be talking, we have a couple people on from the Criminal Justice Committee, and there's also another member of the executive committee who is interested, but they have reached out to me to ask if we have someone within our branch who would be interested in serving on the group that will be putting together this foot pursuit policy. It's not a big heavy lift. It's not a long-term commitment. It's just a couple of meetings where you would be talking with others, some who were on the committee that pulled together a list of 52 recommendations for policing throughout the county. So anyway, I just want to put that out there. And secondly, we will be looking at all those other 52 recommendations, 51 recommendations, and deciding how to move forward on them as well.
Thank you. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, we will start with Ms. Evelyn Spain for Freedom Fund Committee.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm old school. I don't know how many of you remember Sesame Street, but there was this character on there called Snuffleupagus or something. Anyway, that's me.
Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, that's me. I'm so sorry. I
That's
sound much
right.
better normally. But we've been doing really, really great. President Zimmerman has been doing a fantastic job contacting various organizations to help with the sponsorship opportunities that are available at the $3,000 level, $2,500, $2,000 level, $1,500 level, and $500 level. We've had participants in all areas. We are presently at, we've collected a good amount of money to help us with the funds for closing in on the actual event. The ideas that we have tonight, we would like to invite everyone to take a look at the advertisement flyer that I will put in the chat. We need people to advertise in the brochure, whether they be churches, businesses, small business, large business, people who are, just willing to show their support for the event itself and to put their names out there. We would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, I will put the flyer in the chat in just a few minutes. We also have, thank you again, President Zimmerman. We have identified our keynote speaker. President Zimmerman, would you like to say her name?
Oh, Teslin Figaro. If those she is a Fox News correspondent. She also works on the Black Effect Network and Revolt. She is a staple on MSNBC as a political. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I think that was someone else speaking.
Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
Uh,
the speaking engagement she's had, an advisor.
oh yeah, she's a main staple on MSNBC. And she does a lot on, if you all watch or listen to The Breakfast Club, on 103.5, she is their political correspondent. She is just the political know everything, and she's a wonderful person, very knowledgeable. And we have been able to lock her in as the keynote speaker. But I would also like to drive home the point that we are still looking for sponsors, sponsorships for the gala. And if you have the financial wherewithal to do so, I would encourage you all, I would encourage you to either reach out to some companies that you know to assist in sponsoring, reach out to maybe your churches or any organization that you serve in. No, she will not be speaking in person. She will be virtual. But we are looking for sponsors. That is what our ask is. We are still looking for sponsors, and as Miss Evelyn noted, we are looking for people to purchase advertisements. The Freedom Fund Gala, for those of you who don't know, that is our big fundraiser. That fundraiser keeps the lights on in the branch. So, and that is how we're able to go out into the community and do all the things that we're able to do through the year because of the donations and sponsorships and things that we get through Freedom Fund, and most notably the Freedom Fund Gala. And again, we run on donations. So, Miss Evelyn, do you have anything else you can share with us before we try to mosey on?
No, I think that's it for now. Our next big adventure or our big opportunity is to secure, like President Nikki said, whatever additional sponsorships we could obtain prior to the cutoff date of October. And we're also, this is very important. Once I put the flyer out there for advertising in our program, we have a full page ad at $250, a half a page ad at $175, and a quarter page ad at $90. So again, pass this on to businesses, churches, just like you're going to pass on the sponsorship information. If they choose not to sponsor, they can also support us by placing an ad in our color brochure that is going to be provided during the Freedom Fund event. And I think with that, if there are no questions, I am good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Legal redress? Okay. Religious affairs.
We don't have anything new to report at the moment.
Thank you. Criminal justice, Pratik.
The only big thing coming up for us is a meeting we scheduled with Chief Davis. It should be in about a month and a half. This will be the second one we've had recently. And we're looking to keep advocating for what we had before, specifically regarding use of force policies. But other than that, I know that we're planning to publicly release the dashboard soon, and I believe Edwin is working on the tutorial at the moment, so we'll get that out shortly as well.
Okay, thank you. Budget, Les.
Yes, good evening. Just briefly, I was just on a meeting call with the group Invest for Fairfax, which is a coalition of organizations like unions, educators, advocacy organizations like ours, with a focus on advocating for Fairfax County budget issues. And there's already discussion about the 2026 budget. And what was discussed this evening was the possible adoption of a meals tax in Fairfax County as a way of increasing revenues for the 2026 budget, which would provide additional revenues given the tight economic situation that is anticipated. So that's at an early stage. Essentially, what that means to people who go out, whether it's to Chick-fil-A or to dine in, Fairfax County is one of the few counties in the surrounding jurisdictions that doesn't have a meals tax. And so what's being discussed is potentially one that would add maybe two, no figure has been decided, but presumably something that would be on the order of maybe 2 to 4% on a restaurant bill or a McDonald's bill. But that's still at an early stage and have more at a later date.
Thank you. Treasury, Monique. Monique, going once, going twice.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was still on mute. So the Treasury Committee doesn't have anything to report. We are in good standings with national and state.
Thank you. Okay, are there any other committees? Oh, membership, Jesse?
Sure, I'll say just a couple of words. Jasmine and I are getting our sea legs, sort of learning what we're doing. Jenny is a tough shoes to fill, like everybody knows that. Sent out some emails earlier today, just sort of focused on planning for the rest of 2024 as to what you all might need from in the way of events that may be going on that we or our literature could be involved to help you draw membership, and then also thoughts for 2025. A lot of this will come up during our planning session offsite in a couple of weeks, but if there are any thoughts you want to send our way, please do so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Political action, Ms. Lenore. Uh-oh.
I'm here. I was trying to get to a flyer I wanted to share with everyone. We are partnering with the League of Women Voters for a meet and greet for Fairfax City candidates. It will be held on September 25th from 7:30 to 9 p.m. And we are currently in the early planning stages for a Souls to the Poll event. More information will be provided. And we are also looking to host, as often as we can, any voter registration drive. So if you know of any events happening in your area, in your community, if you'd let us know, we would be happy to come out and set up a voter registration education table. And that concludes my announcement. Thank you.
Thank you. And also what we would like to do moving forward with our general membership is include you all in volunteerism and helping us run these tables, and who better to speak on what we do as a branch and what we do as an organization than the members who have dedicated themselves to our branch and to our cause. So it'll be more to follow with that, because we will be having some volunteer opportunities for you all to assist us in running tables and just getting out there into the community a little more. You know, it is a very busy non-paid positions that we're in, and sometimes we spread ourselves thin. And that's where you all come in as our members. You all come in and assist us, and we all get together and just have a good time and work together. Legal redress, I called your name.
Of course you did. And I happened to step away when you called my name. I came back. I was like, it's quiet. She must be waiting for me to talk. So well done, President. Well played. But I just wanted to let folks know that Legal Redress Committee basically receives and investigates all discrimination complaints within Fairfax County, whether you live here or do business here or have any encounters here. I am ending my time as chair at the conclusion of this calendar year. And we have past, present, and I'm going to say it now, future members on this call tonight. Anybody who is interested, I ask you to reach out to me, and I can give you kind of the rundown on the work we do, because I would like the work that we would like our committee to continue serving this county. And we have, a great group of committee members, but time is for new leadership. So I do want to, anybody who's interested or just curious, wants to ask questions about it, whether serving on the committee or being chair, you can definitely reach out to me. It's long. It's Fairfax County Legal Redress at NAACP.com, or you can get I'll put it in the chat because that's a lot to type. And if you have questions, you can reach out and I can kind of answer anything, just kind of talk to you about what's done. And like I said, we have quite a few members who are currently on, and any bad thing they say about me might be true, but they do good work. And I think we've helped make the county a somewhat more equitable place, although there's a lot of work still to be done. Thanks.
Yes. And let me just say this about legal redress. Every complaint, every inquiry passes through their hands. That committee is the committee that sees all the complaints first, and they work the complaints, they work the inquiries, and they have had tremendous amount of success in the work that they've done, and they continue to do. Mike has been legal redress chair for 4 years, and he has done a phenomenal job as legal redress chair. We hate to see him leave, but we know that sometimes it's time to move on and go to other things. But Mike will still be very much so reachable for the branch. You can't get rid of us that quick. Diana.
Mike, do you suggest the chair be a lawyer?
Doesn't have to be.
I was just curious.
I mean, nobody on the committee has to be. I mean, we have a few lawyers. It's helpful to have some for perspective.
Yeah.
But I would say the chair would be best somebody who's well organized and can work with people. And, I think that's the most important aspect, because we do have a few lawyers on the committee, but the majority of us are not.
Lawyer, though.
Say it again.
Right? That you're an attorney. You're a lawyer.
I am.
Right? That's
I
why
am.
I thought that was a good thing to have. Okay. I'm just checking. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks. And, it also could be something where, and I'll tell you when, it's actually been 5 years, because I started in January 2020. So it'll be 5 years by the end of this year. When I started, I was the committee. So the fact that we have an actual committee now is, better than I left it, which I like to always do if I step into a role. But also, I would recommend that folks maybe co-chair it if they can. That way you can share the load, and maybe one is a lawyer, maybe one's a non-lawyer. But like I said, we have a good group of folks, and there's some folks on there. She might not be on camera, but Audrey Wiggins, who's a member of the committee, she is a lawyer, but she's also such a valuable source of information. She's also on like 3 or 4 other committees in the NAACP, but there's a lot of great people with insight and experience that can really help you along the way.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move forward. Next slide, please, before we hand it over to Sujatha and Education Committee. Next slide. Okay, Boys Symposium. Boys Symposium. Let's get to the yes. September 28th, 10 a.m., Gum Springs Community Center, 10 to 3. Can someone please put the link in the chat? 10 to 3. These boys, please send it out to your networks. If you follow us on social media, you will see the link and the flyer. Please repost. This will be a day of brotherhood, of motivation, of resources and information. Let's talk about this next week. Resources
I
and
meant to send that to
information.
one person, sorry.
Okay, thank you. So some of the topics will be, they will have a motivational speaker, there will be a game truck, breakfast, lunch, snacks. They will talk about fatherhood, fatherlessness, mental health, emotional intelligence, sex education, drug use. They will have breakout sessions where they can talk and hopefully get all the guidance, the appropriate guidance that they need to move forward. Ages 12 to 18. Ages 12 to 18. We have professionals coming in who work for either Prince William County or Fairfax County. Please send this flyer out. Can someone please put the link in the chat? Please send this flyer out to your networks. This is a great day for our 12 to 18-year-old boys, 10 to 3. They will be in great hands. You can drop your kids, you could drop your boys off however they need to register, and the parents need to know where they are. Okay, because of the content of the event, parents absolutely have to know what's going on. So we're asking the parents to register their boys to the symposium, for the symposium, September 28th, 10 to 3. Next slide, please. Everybody knows about the gala. We're going to talk about the gala. Again, looking for sponsors, looking for people to purchase advertisements. $250 for a whole page, $175 for a half page, $90 for a quarter page. We are going to have, may I say, a funky good time that night. Dinner, dancing, fellowshipping.
Vendors will be there. You'll be able to buy some really cool stuff. Great cake. We found a person who makes beautiful cakes, so it's going to be lovely. I hope you all will join us.
I think that maybe Nikki has.
Yeah, something. Who don't want to hear me talk? Somebody threw me out and muted me. But we are going to move forward with Dr. Sujatha Hampton, because she's probably the one that kicked me out and muted me. So I'm going to go ahead and give her the floor to give us our education brief and to introduce the guest speaker. Sujatha, that wasn't very demure of you.
I was trying to be mindful. Anyway, let me real quick give you just a couple of things that I wanted to let everybody know. Some really interesting stuff is happening with the teachers' unions. I wanted to report that first. On September 1st, the first proposal of a joint teachers union that is there's a FEA and FCFT, which are the two main teachers unions supporting Fairfax County teachers, have joined together to make a bargaining union. FEU, I think it's Fairfax Education Union. That's a bargaining union. It's a collaborative union, and they are proposing their first proposal to FCPS on September 1st. And they are, I'm not actually in the know. I'm not in any of these meetings, but I've had it reported to me that they have the FCPS gave them some criteria that I don't know whether they're accepting those criteria or not, but they are going to be putting through a proposal. And on November 1st, I think, there is supposed to be some decision regarding the proposal that the unions are going to be putting forth. That is a very, very big deal. So I don't know any more than that, but I wanted to let you know that this is really important right now, because if you are part of the schools, you will know. But if you are not, you probably do not know that we are just hemorrhaging teachers in Fairfax County Public Schools. The teachers are leaving. We have really understaffed classrooms, and especially in special education, they're woefully understaffed. It's actually, I think, a dangerous situation. I just recently saw an email that was sent to the substitute line at a Navy Elementary School, where they actually put out an email looking for teachers for like, it sounded like very serious special education classrooms, like enhanced autism classrooms, like multiple disabilities classrooms, looking for long-term subs because they effective immediately. So they're in a crisis situation in that school. They're probably in a crisis situation in other schools. The only reason I saw that is because the teacher, one of the substitute teachers, also has a child in those special education classrooms. So when she saw that, she was like, oh my goodness, this is a dangerous situation. Well, it's happening all over the county, that we have just, they're losing teachers. They're putting too many kids into one classroom because they don't have the teachers. They're moving kids around, not based on what the kid actually needs, the child actually needs, but because they have a staffing shortage. They've been de-staffed. They don't have the teachers. So one of the reasons for that, for sure, is that there are conditions here that are they're just more favorable. They're making more money in more favorable conditions in surrounding counties, and that is you can't continue to say that you have a world-class education system, you have the best educational system, one of the best in the country, if this continues to happen and just people don't know. It will catch up with you. So that's a really big deal. We need to be paying attention to that. I also wanted to let you know that over the weekend I got one of our school board members sent me a grading, that they're going to be doing grading policy update, and I just got this information, so I don't know much about it, but I will be looking into that. Apparently, we have the school board is going to be starting to look at the grading policy for Fairfax County Public Schools, and we were asked if we, a lot of other people were asked if they have any ideas or if they have any feedback on this, to let the school board know. So I have not had a chance to review these documents yet, but the education committee will be looking at them, and hopefully we'll be able to give them some feedback that might be helpful. On that note, I'm so honored to introduce our special guest speaker today, Dr. Deborah March, who is I'm trying to find of course, but when I did this, I lost my page. I'm sorry. Okay. She is the senior manager. That's what I was looking for. The senior manager of the John Lewis High School Leadership Program. And she's joining us today to talk about all of the wonderful things that they're doing at Lewis. It's just really amazing, wonderful stuff that is going on. And if any of you remember the whole move to start Lewis High School, which was originally Lee High School, Robert E. Lee High School, and then in the renaming, Karen Keys-Kamara, who's joining us tonight, I'm hoping she's still here, she really spearheaded this whole plan to put this leadership program at Lewis. To name the school Lewis was a big deal. We had the whole, we testified, the branch, so many people in the community testified that this would be great to do. And especially at that moment in time, it just made so much sense, because this happened in 2020. And I don't know if this would have happened today. It was a particular moment in time that allowed us to do something really, really special. And so that leadership program is doing amazing things there, really amazing things under the watchful eye of Dr. March. And she's here with us today. I just want to let you know, if you were able to see her bio, you'll see she has she is a PhD in African American Studies and American Studies from Yale. So the reason that I ever got to know Dr. March was when she was doing the work on the new history standards, the new social studies histories SOL for the state of Virginia, which in the end, we got a new governor that was not really down with that. And so all that beautiful work did not get to come to fruition the way that they had designed it. But it was just a work of art. It was such a beautiful curriculum that they put together. And that's how I really sort of first started to get to know Dr. March. And I'm so happy that you guys get to see what she's going to be presenting to us tonight. Hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hampton, and thank you, President Zimmerman, for the honor of inviting me here this evening. I've been in the Office of Curriculum and Instruction not too long, but long enough to know what a crucial and uncompromising voice for racial justice and equity that the NAACP in Fairfax County plays. So thank you for your advocacy. I know that Delegate Karen Keys-Gamarra is, I don't believe, still in the room, but this story for me starts with Delegate Karen Keys-Gamarra, who really put institutional power and a leadership vision behind an authentic community ask, right? Our students and community rose up to demand a change in the name on the building and to honor Congressman John Lewis by naming our school for him, but also to go beyond changing the name and to ensure that our students connect to the legacy of Congressman Lewis through authentic leadership programming. And so, I've been in education for a long time, and a lot of the time, an initiative comes about and teachers are asked to do something new. But in this case, especially, the wisdom of the school board and the community who advocated long before I ever showed up, we have a line item in the budget, we have staffing, we have a period for our teachers to collaborate with me and with the community and with students to build out this curriculum. We have funding for student experiences. And so we can ensure that some of the bright spots you'll hear about this evening are going to be part of our school's culture, our school's identity, and our community's legacy for the years to come. Thank you so much. I'm going to shift and begin sharing my slides. And I'm going to remember to click share sound. Yes. There we go. So I think what you're seeing is a slide about the Lewis Leadership Program, hopefully. Okay. So the John Lewis Leadership Program is going into its third year. We are a whole school program that connects all Lewis students to John Lewis's legacy through real-world learning inside and outside of the classroom. We're really trying to ask the question, what would our world look like if we invested significant sustained resources in our young people, especially our young people who experience barriers to accessing leadership development in high school? What might our world look like? What might our communities look like? What might our school look like if we center the voices and the needs of our young people and invest in their development? So I wanted to share a little bit about some of the features of the program, dig into a few key examples of, highlights of the program, and then just invite your voices to see what ideas are sparked, what questions you might have, and then what some next steps might be in partnership. We are charged with serving every one of Lewis High School's more than 1,600 students, and we're in our third year of development. And that means that students access our program through really individualized pathways, through different ways that make sense for them and their leadership journey. But there are some commonalities in what students experience with us. And it really starts on the left with empowerment and community, really building classroom spaces, school spaces, community spaces where young people's voices are centered, and where young people's insights and experiences and perspectives are invited to shape the systems that influence all aspects of their lives and our communities. And so here you're seeing 3 9th and 10th grade students standing on stage at George Mason University within the first quarter of the first year of our leadership program back in 2022. And they are among a group of 28 students in the Lewis Leadership Program who were invited by FCPS equity leads to be their keynote speakers to share with the group what they need from their perspective, what they need for sustained leadership development, what they need in order to make high school a place that students actually want to be. And people still come up to me and talk to me about what they learned from, in this case, that's Miracle holding the microphone, and Kevin on the right and Zane on the left. In the middle, real world learning. I really want to really center this, no pun intended, since it's in the center. Sorry, I was an English teacher and I make dorky puns. So, what we mean there is that I'm not sure about all of you, but for me, when I think about the experiences that really shaped my growth as a learner and as a leader, they were not anything to do with sitting at a desk, filling in a worksheet or staring at a PowerPoint. And so it's really important to us to break through the four walls of the school, to invite our community in, and to get our students out into the places that connect to their hopes and dreams for themselves and for the world. And this is an image of 14 students and 5 chaperones getting ready to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge, just as our school's namesake did. I want to say a word about that just at the end of the slide. And then on the right, so not just that we want to pour into our young people and uplift their voices, not just that we want to give them real world experiences that help bring relevance to what they're learning, but also on the right, leadership and action. We're asking them and we're giving them opportunities to put their learning into action in ways that feel meaningful to them, in ways that they determine, to create the change that they hope to see, not as an extracurricular opportunity, not as an optional opportunity, not as a club, not as an academy that you apply for, but as part of your government class, part of your world languages class, part of your health and PE class. And on the right, what you see is 8 of our students, the first in our region to complete the National Labor Relations Board Student Ambassador Program. They're standing with Member Wilcox, who is the first Black woman to be appointed to the National Labor Relations Board in that organization's history. And they're also standing with a friend who I hope is still in the room, Toby Latham, who made this experience possible, something we're going to continue in the leadership program. I want to pause just on that middle image because I saw when I registered for Zoom today that our video, our documentary about our trip down to John Lewis's birth site was part of the registration invitation for tonight's meeting. So I want to pause and note first that our community partner and the filmmaker is, I believe, still in the room, Joseph Green of LMS Voice. And he joined us on this trip and interviewed the students, led restorative circles with us, connected us to folks in the community who had lived through this history and sat with us at the end of the day to kind of process what we were seeing. And then, filmed and edited a short film about our time together. So I just wanted to pause and see if anyone got the chance to see that video, and if anyone maybe wanted to share, if there were questions or comments, we can just pause a couple of moments to invite like 1 or 2 voices into the room.
Well, I definitely watched it. And I would love to just, I don't know how you managed to put together, these young people doing this thing. It's such a powerful thing. Obviously there's an art to it, so I shouldn't even be asking that question, but I just really honestly, what I wanted to do is tell you it was a very beautiful and powerful goosebumps type thing to see, and to know that it's just in our public schools, that this could be with proper funding. And if our schools are properly funded and properly staffed and we're given the opportunity to be this inspired as this program is, this could be something that every child in America could have an experience like that, as opposed to what so many kids do not, or get the opposite and are never really inspired a moment of their high school time, and this was just beautiful. It was a really beautiful work. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much for those words. I couldn't agree more. And I'm so grateful to Joseph for documenting it and preserving it forever. And I saw a question in chat about plans to expand this program to other high schools throughout the county. I'm going to answer that and note that there's a tension here. So on the one hand, my position sits in central office because we believe in the FCPS, and I think it's pretty much a known fact, that innovation at the high school level pretty much stagnates, right? There are a lot of constraints on trying new things in a comprehensive public high school because the stakes are so high with on-time graduation requirements and accreditation and all of that. And for a lot of reasons, when you ask an elementary student, you know, are you engaged? Do you feel connected to school? Like, it's like an average of 70%, I believe was the latest, right? 70% elementary students are like psyched to go to school. And when you ask a high school student, that number dips down to around 30% last I checked. So we need to breathe new life into high school. You look at the chronic absenteeism rates, especially post-COVID, and it's really clear that we are not serving our students, not just locally, but nationally. So this is an innovation project, and what we are learning at Lewis, especially about student voice, about real-world learning, work-based learning, and serving and centering the needs of students who experience barriers to enrichment and barriers to like relevant experiences to their futures, that is scaling, and that's why my position exists in central office. However, Lewis High School is special. Lewis High School is special in a lot of ways, and for those who know the history of the school and the boundary changes and the ways in which many students, our population has dwindled, and we are now the smallest high school in Fairfax County Public Schools. And our students deserve a program that is designed just for them and that is special to them, unique to them, and that honors who they are, what they need, specific to the Springfield community. So there are aspects of the program that I do believe transfer, and we're finding ways to do that. But when it comes to Congressman Lewis's life, leadership in connection with our specific community partners, and the precise needs of our student body, there are elements of this that are just for Lewis and that are going to stay just for Lewis. Thank you for that question. I'm going to shift off slides, but I'm looking forward to a little more Q&A in a bit. I wanted to share a little bit of our high-level data, and I think I do want to show a very short 3-minute video just so you can get a sense of what we are talking about here. There's a story behind every one of these numbers. We've taken 64 field trips since August 2022. I've met students who have told me, I didn't think they let special education students on trips. I've met students who've never been on a field trip before. And these field trips are not just transformative for the day, but often they can shift students' relationship to their teacher, to their classmates, to school, and even in considering what opportunities exist for them in the future. We've gone to the US Capitol, we've gone to the Mathematical Association of America, we've gone to NASA Langley Research Center, we've gone to Microsoft Garage, many museums and universities. And of course, we took a 5-day civil rights trip to places connected to Congressman Lewis's life in Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia. We've also been learning about leadership from leaders across fields. We've spoken with more than 73 experts across fields since August, our first year, 2022. We met people who knew John Lewis and fought for freedom with him. You know, founding members of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC. We met with Cortland Cox and Judy Richardson. We've met many times with his nephew, Jarek Lewis, who runs one of his foundations, his former policy advisor, Andrew Iden. We've learned alongside scholars of Black history and the civil rights movement, like Dr. Hassan Jeffries, Dr. Lonnie Bunch of the Smithsonian, and you'll see in this video, Dr. Wendy Manuel Scott of George Mason University. And of course, our students are putting their learning into action. And so as part of the ordinary school day, students are learning earning high quality work-based learning credit and checking off that box, that Virginia State requirement for College, Career, and Civic Readiness Index. These are opportunities that well-resourced students will, often have a family member or a friend recommend them for an internship. They have to find transportation. But for our students, it is built into the school day, and we're expanding this more and more to ensure that every student accesses these opportunities. So what can that look like? If you'll indulge me, I'll just show this brief video and show you an example of what that can look like.
How do we help people ask a different set of questions, create different stories about a topic that they think they already know? Whose voices and whose experiences are not represented in the traditional story, right? And how can your memorial bring those marginalized voices and experiences into your project?
Our Stories Matter was about getting people's stories out there. Me personally, I picked gun violence with Rihan, and we got to interview the school psychologist.
Interviewing my dad, finding out more from him, how he got here, like what he faced. I learned like what he had to do with his family. I understood like how long it took, and it wasn't an easy process.
The project was really fun to do, and learning about like my mom's struggles with it and how little support that she actually got from teachers and even her parents, and realizing how grateful I am that my parents pushed me so hard despite my annoyance when they do that. But
it's just fun rewatching it. I could see how engaged he was, how engaged I was, because I found it interesting what he was saying. Like I focused on drug abuse prevention, recovery, so that helped me understand the topic a bit better than I initially did.
Dr. David Temple, when we had a conversation, I remember him telling us like how confident he was like walking the bridge and stuff, and he remembers being with John R. Lewis, who he said he wanted to go to jail like on purpose, and his mom was worried for him and stuff.
He was inspired by John R. Lewis, actually.
I don't know, just having like university professors looking at my work, and it's weird. It felt really cool, like getting to hear a bunch of other people's stories and how similar some people's stories are to others.
Thanks for letting me show you that. First of all, I'm super proud of the students and grateful to all the partners who were part of it. But I wanted to show you really how these white boxes on the side, the real world experiences, the experts, the action projects, it all kind of comes together, right? The students are taking field trips, they're going to places, they're meeting leaders in our community, and they're taking action in ways that really matter to them. And, you know, a project like this, we're going to continue with George Mason, and we're going to embed this in English classes so that it can just be part of the ordinary school day. And we can also signal to students that their lives, their families, their cultures, their interests are part of the curriculum. They're not separate from the curriculum. They don't need to be left at the door as students enter the classroom. I hope you also noticed how many individuals were like showing up to come alongside the students in their learning. We continue to have a need for that. I want to shout out, I saw Mike Woltz in the room, Toby Latham, Joseph Green. There are many adults in this room who've shown up, who've come alongside our students, and we welcome more for sure. I also, given the focus of educational equity and racial justice in alignment with the NAACP's mission, I want to note that our students are taking action in that area in really meaningful ways. Our students have presented to more than 120 schools. You see them in this upper right-hand corner. There are principals and leadership teams from dozens of schools who came together. And then at other conferences that are not currently pictured, dozens more. But our students have fortunately been invited, and in some cases I've kind of voluntold them to show up in spaces that are typically adult only, spaces where adults are making decisions about their curriculum, about assessment, about the kinds of skills that they're going to be building, and how they're going to demonstrate their learning. And our students' voices have been front and center. And I'm proud to say that includes our students who are recently arrived to this country. And so in the bottom right, you see a group of multilingual learners, including newcomers who arrived in my class just a month before this photo was taken. And they are sharing with, you can't really tell, maybe it's a small photo, but the director of ESOL Services, Dr. Rich Polio, is listening in a small group listening session, those we find are most supportive for our students, about their experiences and their ideas for improving high school for older students who are newcomers. And this goes beyond just FCPS. So in the bottom left corner, you can see Macias, our student, shaking hands with David Temple, who supports Supervisor Rodney Lusk as the Education and Workforce Development Manager. So our students, they are not content to just receive enriching experiences and create change in their own lives. They're really driven to pursue justice in the legacy of John Lewis within the systems that are currently shaping their lives. And I'm really excited to see what comes this year and beyond. I want to highlight, we do these exhibitions of learning, and I would love to invite all of you, if you'd like to join in person, our first one this year will be November 8th, sort of a science fair atmosphere, and you can meet some of our students and staff who are taking action for positive change. And also this year, something new, we will host the first ever, and this is the first time I'm publicly announcing this because I just got permission from John Lewis's family. We'll be hosting the first John Lewis Legacy Summit. We'll be inviting representatives from organizations that have taken on Congressman Lewis's name, and our high school students will organize this summit, and all the logistics and marketing and everything. And we'll host folks from the United States Institute for Peace, from the John R. Lewis Legacy Institute, from John Lewis Elementary School in DC, and from other organizations across our nation to figure out, what does John Lewis's legacy mean to us? How does it call us to act? And how might we come together to amplify our actions to create more change in this world? This slide really just describes our process of change, and I just want to call out the orange box. We started with pilots and a small-scale innovation, really centering student voice. We've got student advisory councils, community working group, a staff advisory board. But this year, we've come to a place where we have learned what works. And now we continue to innovate for sure, but we've shifted our emphasis towards school-wide implementation. So some of the things that we started and tried out, we are now beginning to implement and scale in our core classes. And a couple things I want to call out in that orange box are the leadership certificate and our senior capstone. These are things yet to be developed, but we do believe for those students who choose a deeper engagement with John Lewis's legacy, that we want to offer an externally validated credential. We're exploring, maybe with Leadership Fairfax or a university partner, so that our students walk away with a micro credential that can support them in their future. And finally, other high schools, frankly, wealthier high schools have a senior capstone opportunity so that seniors who've met all graduation requirements can do some work off campus with an internship, with an action project. We don't currently have that at Lewis High School, and there are a lot of reasons why, but it's a big goal of ours to get that off the ground in the next couple of years, and we'll certainly need some help from some of the leaders in the room if you're interested. There are lots of ways to get involved. I don't want to miss the chance to invite you if you'd like to join. I know it's short notice, but on September 9th, Toby Latham has been helping really closely with this work. We have a caravan for disability, freedom, and justice. National organizers of this caravan, disability rights advocates, people with disabilities, and allies, they've been going city to city since April of this year. And the only stop that is led by young people is at John Lewis High School. They'll be coming on September 9th. Our students who receive the adapted curriculum are so-called Category B, and our students in leadership class are ESOL students, and a group of student leaders who's been carrying this project forward from last year. We've all been collaborating to plan what I hope is going to be a really engaging opportunity. There will be voter registration. There will be intergenerational conversation about disability freedom and what it means to them. There will be resources from 7 partner organizations that serve or advocate for people with disabilities. And there will be arts and crafts, right? Art making, storytelling, all of the tools of freedom dreaming, of creating the world that we want to see. So please do join us. I'll make sure to get Dr. Hampton the flyer. And there are additional ways to partner with us. I'll make sure that this flyer that you cannot read because that print is way too small, I'll make sure you get a copy of that as well. But the long and short of it is we would love to have human beings connect with our students in ways that don't necessarily involve standing up on stage, giving a PowerPoint, or talking at young people, but really partnering with them. And I won't play this video unless there is interest. I wanted to leave time for anyone who has questions, but I do have like 2 minutes of our students speaking about the impact of the leadership program on their lives. So I'm going to stop sharing here and just open up to see if there are questions or comments. Thank you for your time. Dr. Hampton, do you want to facilitate or would you prefer?
Yes, I was just going to say Jenna has her hand up.
Hi, good evening. I'm the parent of a current FCPS student at Justice High School. I'm really just obviously so struck by the whole program, but especially the student engagement piece when you first started the presentation around even how the space was designed, and then all of the programmatic elements, just that it's truly student engagement. You know, we talk so much about family engagement, which FCPS, hasn't fully mastered yet, but then you'd hope we could get beyond that and do true student engagement. Do you think there's an appetite to use the success of this program to at least try to do a better job with student engagement across the county? I mean, ideally, we'd all have this program. We won't be able to in the short term, but maybe we could at least really take to heart these true lessons of the power of student engagement. Is that a pipe dream?
No, I think it is a realistic dream. Thank you for that question, Ms. White. And specific to Justice High School, I have met with your new principal, and he uniquely seems to have a specific interest in real world experiences and engagement for students. So that's very exciting. And I think more broadly, when I am invited to speak about the Lewis Leadership Program to other schools, almost always it's for the student voice structures that we've built and the power sharing structures that we've built with our students. So I think that's a sign that there is interest, and I'm really grateful to see that. I think what we do lack as a system is like coordination of student voice. Like, I don't know, we have commitments, we have equity commitments in the strategic plan, but I don't know yet that we have systems and structures for making sure that students have a voice in constructing their curriculum, their programming. So I'd love to see us step in that direction. I know our students would as well.
Diana, have you
Yeah,
heard that?
I'm here. Well, the whole thing sounds amazing, the trips and everything. I mean, as an adult who's interested in civil rights for years anyway, but as an adult, I would love to be attending all those things and those field trips. But is there a specific way, if interested, to be a volunteer, even if you're not a exact expert on stuff? Is there a way to volunteer at the school in some of these civil rights lessons and field trips, any of that?
Oh, that is my favorite type of question. The answer is yes, absolutely. And in fact, we love folks who don't see themselves as experts, but who are really interested in learning alongside the young people, because that's what the young people most value. Adults to take interest in them, to learn alongside them, to ask questions. And also to be authentic audiences for the students' own learning. So it's not just that kids are having these cool experiences, but when they create their exhibitions of learning, like picture like a science fair trifold, to have folks in the community come and say, hey, what's that picture of? Where did you go? So at every stage of their project, yes, we do have a strong need for that sort of thing. And what I think I'll do is just connect with Dr. Hampton for the best way to invite folks in the NAACP to, signal what they might be interested in.
Sounds great. Thank you.
I just had a question, if possible. You were talking about teachers leaving. I just retired as a special ed teacher at Mount Vernon High School, but I could see overwhelmingly this program would be great for Mount Vernon. So I just was curious about your demographics at John Lewis. And I know that per se, Mount Vernon and John Lewis pretty much, mirror each other. But what are the number of students that you have in the program at John Lewis?
Thank you for that question. We have 1,640 some odd students at John Lewis High School. And so it is a whole school program. And what that means is that we guarantee certain experiences to every student. 2 field trips before you graduate, 2 exposures to experts before you graduate, an annual opportunity to exhibit your learning, 1 service project per year, right? So certain things as a baseline. And last year, I'm proud to say more than 1,000 students accessed that baseline. We're moving towards school-wide implementation. We're not there yet. But I would estimate around 300 heavily involved students. And by that, I mean that the student is a student advisor, a student ambassador. They've taken our new John Lewis Legacy Leadership course, our signature course. They have connected with us for a work-based learning opportunity. They've completed a community action project, that sort of thing. So of our graduating seniors, around 400, we had 38 of those graduating seniors last year earn the John Lewis Leadership Program, award, which just means that they have completed a service project project with us. So we hope for that number to grow, but I appreciate that question. And demographically, we're more than 60% Hispanic, we're around 12% Black or African American, we're around 10% white, but that includes North African and Middle Eastern students who are identified that way, and around 20% Asian American. I hope I got those numbers right, but majority Hispanic Latinx school with a majority Spanish speaking population. And I didn't mention this yet, but all of our programming is bilingual English-Spanish as well. So I teach in English and Spanish, the leadership program. Any other questions or comments? So I guess I just wanted maybe to conclude with a quote that we have her voice, and I'm happy to share it separately, but a freshman shared it last year with us. The final exam for the John Lewis Leadership Legacy course is an oral exam with me. And as part of that, I asked students, what's your personal definition of leadership? And our 9th grader, Maliha, said that she thinks, you know, she was scared of the word leadership at the beginning of the year. But by the end of the year, she thinks that leadership is, you know, some people are good at some things and not so good at other things. But leadership is about bringing what you're good at to serve the community and committing to getting better at what you're not good at so that you can better serve the community. And I just love that. And it really convinces me when you hear a 9th grader share that insight, that all of our young people have something meaningful to teach us about leadership and have something beautiful to do in our world, to create a more just and equitable and beautiful system. And we lose something every day when we fail to invest in those young people. So I'm so grateful to our school board, to Principal Alfonso Smith at Lewis High School, to the leaders, to the staff, and to all of you and all of our community partners, in really believing in and sustaining that commitment to our young people as leaders today and leaders tomorrow. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Hampton, for all this time.
Thank you so much for coming to present to us. I know that there was so much more that you had to share, and maybe there'll be the opportunity to come back and tell us more about different things. And I do hope that members understand that they are welcome to go to Lewis. We are all welcome to go to Lewis and join them and do things with them and hear what they have to say. I am looking forward to that opportunity. Thank you so much, Dr. March. I really appreciate it. And with that, we hand it back to President Nikki.
Thank you. I hate when this happens. Somebody changed my view. Okay, that's better. Thank you, Dr. March, and thank you, Mr. Latham and Mr. Green, for coming. We really enjoyed the presentation. We enjoyed the videos that we saw that were attached to our constant contact for registration for the meeting. Can you put in the chat, Dr. March, how we can follow you and how we can reach you and your team? And Mr. Latham as well. Mr. Green already put his contact information in. But if you could tell us how to follow you if you have a Facebook or Instagram for the kids for your program, we can follow that as well.
Mr. Latham,
I'll put links in the chat.
We brought Dr. March here. He came to the education committee meeting and was just talking about all the stuff that's going on there and said, you know, we need to be just getting involved there and seeing what's going on there. And I reached out to Deborah, and here she is to let us know so we can do that. Thank you so much, Toby, for bringing.
Toby may not remember, but he and I were both on the advocacy committee for students with disabilities for FCPS. We were both on that committee years ago.
Oh, I remember. I don't forget people in the community who are helping out. But yeah, I would encourage everybody to just check out what's going on at Lewis. You know, I was asking around, and I met Dr. March when Vice President Harris was at Lewis, and I ran into a high school classmate of mine who's now assistant principal there. I said, hey, what's going on with this leadership program? And she was like, let me introduce you to Dr. March. And it was just 100 miles an hour after that. And we went from, hey, do you think we can expand what the board is doing currently in New York to Lewis? And It went from a can we do this to let's do this in February in about a matter of a couple months, and then once you go there, you can't help but keep going back to see what these students are doing because it's 100% student led, and it's just a beautiful thing to see students take what they're interested in and go with it. I grew up in Hampton Roads, and I tell everybody all the time that, you know, I've done pretty well for myself, but I'm not the smartest or most dynamic person I grew up with. I'm just the one who got the attention from the teachers and got the push to go, you know, to college, to law school, to all these other things that I've gone and done. And like, I could have pushed that NLRB program to where my boundary is, West Springfield High School, but I was like, no, let me go see what's going on in Lewis. And I don't regret doing that at all. And if you have limited time, go to that exhibition of learning, see what everybody's doing. But if you got more time, just show up for these students because they're doing great things there.
Thank you. So we'll leave it open for maybe one or two more questions if anybody has anything before we close out tonight's meeting. Okay, so don't forget, this weekend, I believe, no, next weekend is the prom for Gum Springs, the season senior prom, Saturday, September 7, 2024, 6 to 9. I will be there. So please come out to the senior prom. Anything else I'm missing before John gives us the closing prayer? Okay, John, you take it over.
Okay, I'll just say the second half of the prayer that I started the meeting with. It's a Buddhist meditation on kindness, which is part of the character that we want leaders to have. So the second part of the prayer is, let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will. Whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Amen.
Thank you and amen. And that concludes our meeting. Miss Graves, Jesse, Miss